We're going to talk to you today about, in Hebrew, the Moadim, God's appointed time. And I've got two promises for you. Number one is I'm not going to be politically correct on this. We don't have time to be politically correct, because once this time passes us by, it's gone forever and ever and ever. The second promise, I'm not going to be politically correct, but I will be biblically correct when I tell you, when you return to God, He's going to open up the windows of heaven. And I don't mean return to God just by being saved.
Right.
I mean return to God, to His Word, and to loving the land of Israel. Get ready. This is your Moadim, your appointed time. You know, whenever I'm traveling and I'm leaving the house and I kiss Tiz goodbye and kiss the grandsugars goodbye, one of the last things Tiz says to me when I'm leaving is, now behave yourself. Because I have the tendency not to ever be politically correct. And unfortunately, that's something that has caught on. You know, everybody's wanting to be politically correct. And I'm going to be honest with you. That's one of the reasons our nation is in such turmoil today, because we're more concerned about being politically correct than being biblically correct. And so let's just avoid the political correction. Israel belongs to the Jewish people. And God says in these last days, if you bless Israel, I will bless you. If you curse Israel, I will curse you. So we need to just bypass the political correctness and understand Israel belongs to the Jewish people. And when we as Gentiles, and I'm going to read a prophecy by Amos, where when you send in your first fruit this year, you know, this is what Malachi is all about. Everybody talks about Malachi, but they try to talk about Malachi without connecting it to our Jewish roots.
Exactly.
Malachi says, return unto me, and I will return unto you. Return unto me, God says, and I'll return to you. Malachi was not written for the Jews, because what he's talking about, returning, the word in Hebrew, teshuvah, is returning to the three feasts of the year, returning to first fruit of Passover, first fruit of Pentecost, Shavuot, first fruit of Sukkot, Feast of Tabernacles. And if you look at it, every one of these, Jesus himself appeared.
Exactly.
All the Jewish people appeared at the temple to bring the first fruit of Passover, first fruit of Pentecost, first fruit of Feast of Tabernacles. So the prophecy that God says, if you return to me, I will return to you. If you return teshuvah to God, He'll open the windows of heaven. That word window in Hebrew is the word yushod, which means a funnel from God's power to your need, whatever your need is, financial, physical, home, family, whatever it is. But the key to it is we return. How do we return? Our tithes, we know what that is. But 3 times a year, we bring an offering called first fruits, for the to keep it simple, first fruits 3 times a year, Passover, Pentecost, Shavuot, Feast of Tabernacles. And how many Christians don't even know about bringing a first fruit to God, much less as you send a first fruit to us. And we're going to show you an amazing door that God has opened up for you and I to be a blessing to Israel, exactly according to the prophecy of Amos. And in this year of Jubilee, this year of Purim, this year of first fruits on Passover, God will not only touch your finances, He's going to touch your family in a supernatural way. Tiz, we always talk about appointed time. Every year we have these appointed times. But this year is Jubilee. It is the most important first fruit offering. There will be people that will hear this 6 months from now and get involved with Feast of Tabernacles, but they're going to miss. They'll never get in every blessing, 30, 60, 100-fold, because this is Jubilee.
Yeah. You know, Larry, before we ever even knew the Jewish roots or on this path, we always believed the promises of God were real and for today. But what I love about the Jewish roots and about these teachings, the Moadims, the appointed times, is it gives you God's timeline for blessing.
Exactly.
And I think most Christians are like we used to be. You're just kind of groping in the dark and hoping you stumble into the blessings.
Right.
But you don't have this tangible way to move into it. And God is so methodical. He didn't just, any day I'm going to bless you.
Yeah, I'm just going to hang a window over you.
There you go, hang this window. But he gives us very specific dates, times, and things to do to cause that window to be open.
You know, we've all heard, and we talk about this all the time. You say this when you teach, which is so brilliant. It's not the truth that sets you free; it's the truth you know. And that word "know" in Hebrew means to own it. And you do such a marvelous job when you teach this. You've got to own this truth, which is one of the reasons that when you send in your first fruits, that we can take a first fruit offering to Israel. We're going to give you 21 messages on this that will give you ownership of this.
Yes.
But when God says that, is there not an appointed time? We miss that. We have the tendency, because the devil has done a good job through people, through the church, of taking the Jewish roots away, taking our love for the Jewish people and our love for Israel away. But in these last days, and I'm going to read the prophecy of Amos, where when you send in your first fruits, we're going to partner with Jewish people in Israel of reclaiming the land by planting olive trees. You know, I'm just going to be politically incorrect because it just upsets me so much. I see Christian organizations, full denominations, calling for a boycott on all products out of Israel. Now think about that. They're calling for a boycott. Israel does not belong. I know we've known Jewish people for almost 25 years. They love the Palestinian people. They bless the Palestinian people. They help the Palestinian people. The hospital that we support takes in, doesn't matter who you are, Jew, Palestinian, doesn't matter, they take care of you. But Israel belongs to the Jewish people. The Bible says it. The UN says it. Now, it doesn't matter what they're changing. This is the fact of God. And when we hear of Christian denominations, listen to me. The reason why the Jewish people have a hard time trusting Christians is because of not Christianity, but of what Christians have taught. Well, the Jews killed Jesus. The Jews did not kill Jesus. Rome, crucifixion was a Roman thing. But Jesus said, no man takes my life. I give it freely. We got to quit cursing Israel by saying the Jews killed Jesus. We've got to quit saying that we've replaced Israel. What did Paul, the apostle, say to the church? Don't you get caught up in your pride. They are not grafted into you. You, as a believer and a follower of Jesus, the Messiah, is grafted into them. So when we stop cursing them, we need to start not be in the middle, but bless them. And now we have, here's where I get politically incorrect, but I don't care. Now we have Christian denominations, the same people, the same thought that called for the Inquisition, that called for the Holocaust, that called for all the programs. They're saying boycott products in Israel. Bankrupt Israel. So we're going to do the opposite. And bless Israel by not just, we have our schools, we have our hospital there, we have that, but we're partnering with Jews in the town of Amos, where the prophet Amos spoke, and we are going to as you send in your first fruit. There's never been a more, you know, you don't get a harvest without planting a seed. This is Jubilee. This is the end of Shemitah. This is 4 blood moons. Jubilee only comes every 50 years. I need to talk about that. I know I never answer your question. This is the most important time for you ever to plant a seed. But we're going to, as you send us your first fruit, we're not only going to plant seeds in Israel, we're literally going to plant seed in Israel, where so much of the Christian world is saying boycott products in Israel. You and I are going to be a blessing in Israel and cause products in Israel to grow. We're going to plant olive trees in the land of Amos. Our announcer is going to tell you about this in a minute. This is the most important first fruit seed you have ever planted. This is, for you and your family, your year of Jubilee.